I didn't realise I was holding my breath until Cassian's fingers touched my skin. We were in his apartment, just the two of us, and I'd pulled off my shirt because we'd been moving furniture all afternoon, and I was drenched in sweat. I wasn't thinking about anything except how good it would feel to cool down, maybe grab a shower before we ordered pizza. But then I saw his expression change. His eyes went from laughing about something stupid I'd said to suddenly serious, focused, and before I could ask what was wrong, he was stepping closer to me. What happened here? His voice was quiet, careful, like he was afraid of the answer. I looked down and saw what he was seeing. A bruise, dark purple spreading into yellow at the edges, stretched across my ribs on my left side. It looked worse than it felt, honestly. I'd gotten it at the gym 3 days ago, dropped a weight plate while re-racking, and it had caught me on the way down. Stupid accident. Nothing dramatic. But the way Cassian was looking at it, you'd think I'd been in a car crash. Oh, that. It's nothing, just the gym. I'm an idiot who can't re-rack weights properly. He didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. Instead, he moved closer, and I suddenly became hyper-aware of how little space existed between us. We'd been friends for 8 months, ever since he'd transferred to our office and ended up at the desk next to mine. We'd fallen into an easy friendship, the kind where you text each other stupid memes at 2 a.m. and spend weekends helping each other with errands. I'd helped him paint his apartment. He'd helped me assemble the world's most complicated bookshelf. Normal friend stuff. But this didn't feel normal. "Can I?" he asked, and I didn't know what he was asking permission for until I saw his hand hovering near my side, not quite touching. I should have said something casual, something to break whatever tension was building in the air between us. Instead, I just nodded. His fingers touched my skin so gently I barely felt it at first. He was checking the bruise, I realised, pressing carefully around the edges to see if it hurt. His touch was warm, and I was suddenly conscious of every single point where his skin met mine. He pressed a little firmer, watching my face for a reaction. "Does this hurt?" "A little," I admitted. It did hurt, but not as much as the way my heart was suddenly racing. He moved his fingers slightly, pressing again, so careful, so deliberate. "Here?" "Yeah." "What about here?" His hand spread wider, palm flat against my ribs now, and I felt the warmth of it radiating through my entire body. I couldn't speak. I just shook my head, which could have meant no, it doesn't hurt, or no, I can't handle how this is making me feel. I wasn't sure which was true. Maybe both. Cassian looked up at me then, and I saw something in his dark eyes that I'd never let myself see before. Or maybe I'd seen it and convinced myself I was imagining it, because acknowledging it would mean acknowledging something about myself I wasn't ready to face. "You need to be more careful," he said softly. But his hand was still on my side, thumb moving in a small, gentle circle that definitely wasn't about checking for injuries anymore. "I will," I whispered. We stood there for what felt like an hour but was probably only seconds, his hand on my bare skin, both of us breathing a little too fast. Then his phone buzzed in his pocket and the spell broke. He stepped back, pulled out his phone, glanced at it, and the moment dissolved like it had never happened. "Pizza?" he asked, his voice carefully normal. "Yeah, pizza sounds good." But I couldn't stop thinking about his hand on my ribs, the way he'd looked at me, the way my entire body had responded to his touch. I pulled my shirt back on and tried to act like everything was fine, like something fundamental hadn't just shifted between us. That was 3 weeks ago, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. I'm lying in my bed right now, 2 a.m, replaying that moment for the 1,000th time. I'm 26 years old, and I thought I had myself figured out. I dated girls in college, had a girlfriend for 2 years after graduation. We broke up 6 months ago because she said I seemed distant, distracted, like I was never fully present. She wasn't wrong. I thought maybe I just wasn't ready for something serious. I thought maybe I needed to focus on my career, on figuring out what I wanted from life. I didn't think the answer would be Cassian. But here I am, unable to sleep, unable to think about anything else. The way he laughs, throwing his head back, completely unself-conscious. The way he listens when I talk, really listens, like every word I say matters. The way he'd touched my bruise, so gentle, so concerned. The way I haven't been able to forget how his hand felt against my skin. I've never thought about a guy like this before, or maybe I have and I just never let myself acknowledge it. There was Ryan in high school, my best friend, and I remember feeling devastated when he got a girlfriend, but I told myself that was just normal jealousy, not wanting to lose my friend's attention. There was Marcus in college, my roommate, and I remember watching him get dressed for dates and feeling something I couldn't name, but I pushed it down, ignored it, focused on my own girlfriend. But I can't ignore this. Cassian has gotten under my skin in a way I can't explain and can't escape. I catch myself looking for him at work, my day feeling incomplete if we don't have lunch together. I find excuses to text him. I replay our conversations, analysing every word, every look, trying to figure out if I'm imagining the tension between us or if he feels it too. The worst part is how natural it all feels. Being around Cassian doesn't feel like some dramatic revelation or identity crisis. It just feels right, easy, like finding something I didn't know I was missing. My phone lights up on my nightstand. A text from Cassian. "You awake?" My heart does this stupid flip in my chest. I grab my phone. Yeah, can't sleep. Same. Want to come over? I'll make coffee. It's 2 a.m. This is not a normal friend invitation. Or maybe it is and I'm reading into everything now, seeing what I want to see. But I'm already getting out of bed, pulling on jeans and a hoodie. Be there in 20. I drive through empty streets, my mind racing faster than my car. What am I doing? What are we doing? Maybe he just wants to talk, can't sleep and wants company. Maybe I'm building this into something it's not. Maybe that moment 3 weeks ago was just a moment, nothing more, and I'm the only one who's been obsessing over it. But when he opens his door, still in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair messy from lying in bed, and smiles at me with something that looks like relief, I know I'm not imagining this. "Hey," he says, stepping back to let me in. "Hey." His apartment smells like coffee already. He's got 2 mugs waiting on the counter. We move into his living room and sit on opposite ends of his couch, the same couch we'd moved 3 weeks ago, the same day everything changed. "Couldn't sleep?" I ask, wrapping my hands around the warm mug. "Keep thinking about stuff," he says, not looking at me. "What kind of stuff?" He's quiet for a long time. I watch him over the rim of my mug, studying his profile in the dim light from the kitchen. He's got this sharp jawline I've caught myself staring at more times than I want to admit, and his hair is longer than when we first met, curling slightly at his neck. He's beautiful. That's the word that keeps coming to mind, and I've never thought of a guy as beautiful before, but Cassian is. "Do you ever feel like you're figuring something out about yourself that you should have known all along?" he finally asks. My heart stops. "Yeah, recently, actually." He looks at me then, really looks at me, and I see my own confusion and fear and hope reflected back at me. "That day with the bruise," he says, "I haven't been able to stop thinking about it." "Me neither. I shouldn't have touched you like that. It wasn't about checking if you were hurt. I mean, it was, but it wasn't just that. I just wanted—" He trails off, looking back down at his coffee. "Wanted what?" My voice comes out barely above a whisper. "To touch you. To have an excuse to touch you. I've wanted to for months and I didn't know how to deal with it." The confession hangs in the air between us. I should be freaking out. This should feel terrifying, world-shifting, impossible. But instead, I feel this overwhelming sense of relief, like I've been holding something heavy and finally get to set it down. "I'm glad you did," I say. "Touch me, I mean, because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it either. About you. About what it means that I can't stop thinking about you. And what does it mean?" I set my coffee down on the table and turn to face him fully. "I think it means I'm not as straight as I thought I was. I think it means I have feelings for you that are definitely not just friendly. I think it means I'm kind of terrified and excited and confused all at once." Cassian sets his own mug down and shifts closer to me on the couch. Not touching, but close enough that I can feel the warmth of him. "I've known I was bi since college," he says quietly. "But I've never felt like this about anyone. I moved here, started this new job, and I told myself I'd focus on my career, not get distracted. And then I met you, and you were so easy to talk to, so funny and smart and kind, and I thought we'd just be friends. I told myself that's all it was, but then I'd go home and all I'd want to do was text you, and I'd see you at work and my whole day would get better. And I started having these thoughts about what it would be like to kiss you, to hold your hand, to be more than friends. And that day with the bruise, I just couldn't help myself. I needed to touch you, even if it was just for a moment, even if you didn't know what it meant to me." I'm staring at him, hardly breathing. He's saying everything I've been feeling, giving words to all the confusion and longing that's been building in my chest. "I wanted you to keep touching me," I admit. "When your hand was on my side, I didn't want you to stop. I've never felt like that before, not with anyone." What do we do now? He asks. It's a fair question. We work together. We're friends. This could complicate everything. It could ruin everything. The smart thing would probably be to back away, to pretend this conversation never happened, to protect our friendship and our working relationship. But I've never wanted to be smart less in my entire life. Can I try something? I ask. Okay. I lean forward slowly, giving him time to pull away, to change his mind, to tell me this is a mistake. But he doesn't move. He just watches me with those dark eyes, and I can see his chest rising and falling faster. I close the distance between us and kiss him. It's soft at first, tentative, both of us testing this new territory. His lips are warm and softer than I expected, and when he kisses me back, I feel it all through my body. He brings his hand up to cut my face, thumb stroking my cheek, and the gentleness of it makes my chest ache. I've kissed people before. I've had relationships, physical intimacy, all of it. But nothing has ever felt like this. This feels like something clicking into place, like a question I didn't know how to ask finally being answered. When we pull apart, we're both breathing hard. Cassian rests his forehead against mine, his hand still on my face. Wow, he whispers. Yeah. So we're doing this? I pull back enough to look at him properly. His eyes are searching mine, vulnerable and hopeful and scared. I know because I feel all those things too. I want to, I say. I'm new at this. The guy thing, I mean. I don't know what I'm doing and I'll probably mess up and freak out sometimes. But I know I want to try. With you. I want to try too. We can figure it out together. We kiss again, and this time it's deeper, more confident. His hands move to my waist and I thread my fingers through his hair, and it's like every moment of tension and longing from the past months is pouring into this. We end up stretched out on his couch, his body half covering mine, kissing until we're both dizzy with it. Stay tonight, he murmurs against my lips. Just sleep. I just want you here. Okay, we move to his bedroom, and it's surprisingly not awkward. We climb into his bed and he pulls me against his chest, arms wrapped around me, and I've never felt safer or more right anywhere in my life. How's your bruise? He asks into the darkness, and I can hear the smile in his voice. Long gone, but you can check if you want. His hand slides under my shirt, palm warm against the skin of my ribs where the bruise used to be. Does this hurt? No. Good. He presses a kiss to the back of my neck and I shiver. I fall asleep in his arms, and for the first time in weeks I don't dream of anything because reality is better than anything my subconscious could create. The next morning, I wake up to sunlight streaming through his curtains and the smell of coffee. Cassian is sitting on the edge of the bed, 2 mugs in hand, watching me with a soft expression. Morning, he says. Morning. I sit up, taking the coffee he offers. So that happened. Any regrets? I think about it seriously, checking in with myself. I'm in a guy's bed. I kissed a guy. I have feelings for a guy. A few months ago, this would have been unthinkable. But right now, looking at Cassian in the morning light, messy-haired and smiling at me like I'm something precious, I don't feel confused or scared. I feel happy. No regrets, I say. You? None. He leans over and kisses me, soft and sweet, tasting like coffee. Though we should probably talk about work, and what we're going to tell people, and how fast or slow we want to take this. Practical concerns. I just don't want to mess this up. You're too important to me. I set my coffee down and pull him back into bed with me, wrapping my arms around him. We'll figure it out. We don't have to have all the answers right now. Let's just see where this goes. We spend the rest of the morning in bed talking about everything. He tells me about realizing he was bi in college, about the guys and girls he's dated, about coming out to his family. I tell him about my ex-girlfriend, about the signs I probably missed or ignored, about how this feels both completely new and somehow inevitable. Are you going to come out? He asks carefully. I mean, you don't have to label anything, but have you thought about it? I don't know yet. I'm still processing. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. There's no timeline. You figure yourself out at your own pace. What would you call this? Us? He's quiet for a moment, fingers tracing patterns on my arm. I'd call you my boyfriend, if you want that, but we don't have to use labels right away if you're not ready. Boyfriend. The word should feel strange applied to a guy, applied to Cassian, but it doesn't. It feels right. I think I'd like that. Being your boyfriend. His smile is radiant. Yeah? Yeah. We decide to keep things quiet at work for now. Not because we're hiding, but because we want to figure out what we are without the pressure of everyone else's opinions. We keep having lunch together like we always did. Keep texting constantly. But now I know that when we leave the office, I get to go to his place or he comes to mine, and we get to be together in all the ways I've been wanting. The first time I tell someone, it's my sister. We're having our weekly phone call and she asks if I'm seeing anyone, and instead of deflecting like I usually do, I take a breath and say, yeah, actually, his name is Cassian. There's a pause. Then, his name? Yeah, Cassian. We work together. He's amazing and I really like him, and I know this is probably surprising, but are you happy? She interrupts. Really happy. Then I'm happy for you. When do I get to meet him? It's that simple. Or at least that first step is that simple. I know not everyone will react that way. I know there will be awkward conversations and surprised faces and probably some people who don't understand. But right now, sitting on my couch with my sister's acceptance warming my chest, it feels manageable. Cassian and I fall into a rhythm. We're careful at work, professional, but we steal moments. His hand on my lower back as he passes behind my desk. My foot nudging his under the conference room table. Small smiles across the office that mean I'm thinking about you. I can't wait until we're alone. I'm so glad you're here. After work, we're inseparable. We cook dinner together in one of our apartments, his cooking skills infinitely better than mine. We watch movies curled up on the couch, his head on my shoulder or mine on his chest. We talk about everything and nothing, learning each other in all the ways that matter. And we kiss. God, we kiss. I can't get enough of kissing him. Every kiss feels like discovering something new, and I find myself looking for excuses to do it. Good morning kisses, goodbye kisses, just because kisses, kisses that start soft and turn heated, kisses that make us forget whatever we were doing. 3 months in, we're lying in his bed on a Sunday morning, lazy and content, when he traces his fingers over my ribs where the bruise used to be. I'm glad you dropped that weight, he says. I laugh. That's a weird thing to be glad about. I'm serious. If you hadn't gotten that bruise, I might never have had an excuse to touch you. Might have kept being a coward about my feelings. You weren't a coward. You were just careful. I was terrified. Terrified you wouldn't feel the same way. Terrified of ruining our friendship. But then I saw that bruise and I couldn't help myself. I needed to make sure you were okay, even if it was just an excuse to be close to you. I roll over to face him, cupping his face in my hand. Best bruise I ever got. Your ribs might disagree. My ribs don't get a vote. I kiss him, slow and deep. I'm glad you touched me. I'm glad you were brave enough to tell me how you felt. I'm glad we took this chance. Me too. We spend the rest of the day in bed, and I think about how much my life has changed. How I've changed. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago before Cassian, before that moment with the bruise that changed everything. I'm happier, more honest with myself, more open to possibilities I never considered. I'm in love. That's what this feeling is, I've realised. This warmth in my chest when I look at him, this desire to make him smile, this certainty that I want him in my life not just for now, but for as long as he'll have me. I haven't said it yet, neither has he, but I feel it growing stronger every day. What are you thinking about? Cassian asks, studying my face. How happy I am, how grateful I am that you saw that bruise. He laughs, pulling me closer. We should send a thank you card to that weight plate. Dear weight plate, thanks for falling on me and leading to the best relationship of my life. The best. I meet his eyes, letting him see everything I'm feeling. Yeah, the best. He kisses me then, tender and full of promise, and I know this is just the beginning of our story. There will be challenges ahead, conversations to navigate, moments of doubt or fear, but we'll face them together, and that makes all the difference. Later, as we're finally getting up to make breakfast, my phone buzzes with a text from my sister, asking when she can meet Cassian. I show him the message and he grins. Think she'll like me? She'll love you. Everyone loves you. I only care if you love me. The words hang in the air between us. Neither of us has said it yet, but here it is, presented as a hypothetical but feeling very real. I do, I say quietly. Love you, I mean. I know it's only been a few months, but I do. His smile is soft and genuine and full of emotion. I love you too, have for a while now. We kiss in his kitchen, coffee forgotten, breakfast abandoned, just the two of us and these words we've finally spoken. I love you. 3 words that feel both enormous and simple, terrifying and natural. I think about that moment 3 weeks into our friendship, when Cassian's fingers first touched my bruised ribs, when something unspoken passed between us. I think about all the moments since then, the slow realization of my feelings, the courage it took to act on them. I think about how one small moment of tenderness changed the entire trajectory of my life, and I'm grateful. For the bruise, for Cassian's gentle touch, for the conversation that followed, for every step that led us here. To this moment, this love, this life we're building together. Come on, Cassian says, pulling back with a smile. Let's make breakfast. Then we can plan what we're going to tell your sister about how we got together. The truth? That I fell for you because of a bruise. That you were caring enough to check if I was hurt and brave enough to turn that moment into something more. He kisses my forehead. I like that version. We make breakfast together, moving around his kitchen in comfortable synchronization, and I realize this is what I want. Not just the romance and the passion, but this. The everyday moments, the comfortable silence, the simple joy of making breakfast with someone you love. My phone buzzes again. This time, it's my best friend from college, asking if I want to grab drinks next weekend. I think about telling him about Cassian, about coming out to more people in my life. The thought doesn't scare me like it used to. I have Cassian beside me, supporting me, and I have my own growing confidence in who I am and what I want. What's that smile for? Cassian asks, sliding eggs onto plates. Just thinking about how good my life is right now. Yeah. I wrap my arms around him from behind, resting my chin on his shoulder. Really good. He turns in my arms and kisses me, and I taste coffee and promise and future. This is my life now. Loving Cassian, being loved by him, figuring out who I am and who we are together. It's not always easy, but it's real, and it's mine, and it's worth every moment of uncertainty that led me here. All because he spotted a bruise on my ribs and cared enough to check if it hurt. All because one gentle touch opened a door I didn't even know existed. All because we were both brave enough to walk through it together.